Hey, what's up with the YouTube? It's the Real Boss TV 815. Go ahead, like and subscribe. First off, I want to say happy holidays to everybody. Y'all already know happy holidays and happy new year. But we're gonna get straight into it. The streets of North Carolina, they're kind of coming out and saying like what happened with Shanquella Robinson. Now, of course, we know that Shanquella has more friends and more people that know her, and so does dejahnae, Winter, Khalil, all of them, right? So when I first did a live on this case in the very beginning, it was several people that was from North Carolina that came on there and was giving me info, and I had to do my research on them, and they some of them actually went to a further extent to prove to me who they were, like sending me pictures, emails, et cetera, et cetera. So and I'm gonna break this down to you as simple as possible. Without having to say too much that I feel like, because we're grown, we can understand it. And we're gonna say allegedly because this is YouTube, and like I said, there's just certain things you really don't want to say if y'all can understand it without me saying it. So I hope y'all get what I'm saying, basically. All right, so a lot of people was reaching out to me. They proved who they were. I don't have to go through all that to say, they proved who they were. And then even after talking to her sister, I kind of looked at both sides and listened to what everybody was saying, and a lot of it matched up. You got to make sense out of things that make sense. Like if it makes sense, and this person all uh, collaborating, like all of their statements are coming together to make it make sense, then there's nothing else you could do with it but make sense out of it, right? So basically, basically, Shanquella and I want to say Dejanay and probably Winner, like they already had some kind of little thing, like before the trip. It wasn't like they hated each other or nothing like that, but it was just more of a it was just more like a thing where they just had like their little differences. They had their little differences and everything. And they that's before they went on a trip. It wasn't like there was enemies or anything like that. But from my understanding, that's why Malik convinced her to go. So it was more on some, hey, let's all get together, all the other stuff. Let's have a great time. Bam. And then that's what's so crazy about it is that's where her sister did tell me. She said she wouldn't have even went if it wasn't for Malik. Bing, that's one key right there. That lets you know that like it wasn't like they was you know enemies, but they had their own differences, or maybe words was said in the past, or he say she say, basically, and that's why they went. So Khalil, being the bestie, he talked her into going out there basically to have a good time and possibly, get everybody like tight or whatever. And from my understanding is like, when you on a vacation, you're gonna get some people like to get a little turned, if you know what I mean by that. And when I say turn, how what it is, how these youngsters turn up, whatever, right? And from my understanding, Shanquella wasn't aware of how turned she was. Now when I say she was turned, like I'm not saying like she was disrespecting or anything like that. She was really playing like the more role of joking around, messing with people, like trying to get everybody excited and whatnot. And basically, whenever you seen her looking for them, and they was all quiet, there was kind of a little bit talking about it, maybe saying like, "Oh, she's just," it's a lot of jealousy involved anyway. And they kind of was like talking about it, and it was like basically saying like she's getting on their nerves. So that's why you feel the energy, like they were acting like like she's getting on their nerves. Now they was playing a lot of little games and all that throughout the night, and Shaquela was, being herself, confident, and trying and being the life of the party, and with the jealousy part of it, like I said, that I guess she was getting on some people's nerves, and that's why they was looking at her. So later on in the day, they started playing other games, and they played a, card game. I want to say it's kind of like a truth or dare type of game, and drinking like with it. So but like I don't know if you pay attention to one of her cards. It says something about sending like I want to say the word HATE mail to other members of the party. So and now when you look at Shaquella being the playful, energetic, confident person she is, she's playing and trying to have a good time, but they already got some kind of way they feel anyway. So with that on top of that, so, it was some things back and forth said at that point, and Quayla, she's probably not even all the way aware of the state that she's in. If you understand what I'm saying, like there was we know for a fact, like when you listen to her sister, that her sister said when Khalil came back, he looked like he was turned, and she asked me like, do you think they probably gave her something? Because when she noticed her, she said that ain't how she acts. Like that's not, you see what I'm saying? So make a long story short, after they got into the argument, now so everybody's arguing. It's mainly with Dejahnae and Shanquella, and people were kind of like choosing sides. So at that point, it was like it was already late. Everybody was already turned and wasted or whatever, and everybody's picking sides. And from my understanding is like she kind of not all the way fell out, but kind of like fell off with Khalil, Dejanay, and Winter for the most part. To where the point it was gonna be like, hey, okay, I don't even know like if I when I say fall off with Khalil, not like necessarily like, hey, I'm never gonna talk to you again, but after this, it's gonna be a little different, and that hurt pride. They hurt their pride. That's why you see in the morning they were already up talking about it. Dejanay made the decision to go do that, and that's why they was just watching because they all felt some type of way because she was possibly going to just cut ties with them after that incident that night. Now, now what makes sense about that is when you okay. Now this is where we're going to get to who revealed the video, who leaked it. That video was leaked by Malik. That's his video, from my understanding. And when you look at it, you can tell that's his video because you know it's not Elisa's because you see her hand in this video and you hear him talking close to the video. So the video we're watching is his video, right? So that's why you don't hear them. And the thing about it is, you don't. And the thing about it is, what's so crazy about this thing with Khalil is, if you think about it, when they was in that room, he was the only one that didn't even say anything. Like Malik said, "Why you ain't?" And then even the girl said, "Why she ain't?" But Khalil, he didn't speak at all because he know why, possibly, allegedly. You see what I'm saying? And of course, they didn't think that all that was gonna happen. But at that point, that's why they was acting like that and treating her like that because she was going. They knew that it's possible that she would cut ties with them, and so it's like, shoot, we don't care either. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up. It was a lot of jealousy and envy in the beginning, and Khalil, whatever state he was in, he was no help. You know, and whenever they were talking about it, going back and forth, somebody was amping Dejanay up. And I feel like the reason because of that, because some was more turned than others, and not realizing, that they're not helping the situation, they're turning it into a bad thing. Like Khalil, like I don't know him as a person or nothing, but I'm saying as a friend, it seems like he obviously was no help at all in the whole situation, because if that's the bestie, he invited her and she went out on behalf of him, he should be able to want to be able to squash it, period, because they rock with him more. From my understanding, he knows them longer. He knows them better than Quayla does. So it was. You see how he just stood back? Out. He just stood out the way. He didn't even say anything. And then when her sister said he came back over here acting like he was coming down off of something. You know what I'm saying? Like she was trying to tell. She trying to let y'all know, like, they the Khalil and Shanquella wasn't acting themselves, and Quayla wasn't aware of what level she was on, and she was being real playful, energetic, her same self, and it was like she's getting on their nerves. You could tell with the energy, and then they already had some other stuff going on, and so when all that happened, and they're realizing, hey, they messed up real bad. That's when they went ahead and came up with the alcohol, the drinking thing. Said she drunk too much. But if anybody knows the most is Khalil. He needs to say something. If he ain't said nothing already, a lot of them been subpoenaed, but that's why they're not. They ain't talking yet because they ain't received the subpoena because they ain't there. But for the most part, Khalil, he knows why this and that happened, because whenever the in the video you could see he wasn't even saying anything. Everybody spoke. He was the only one that didn't say nothing. And him being the bestie, does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm hoping that I didn't leave out anything, but I'm just trying to put it all together in a certain manner to where it's not too, because this is YouTube and we're trying to keep it correct. So if y'all don't understand what I'm saying, I feel like I shouldn't have to say certain words for you to get what I'm saying. That there's certain people that was turned, and Shaquela wasn't aware of how turned she was, and she just wasn't aware of what was going on around her, because she you know what I'm saying, she was turned. She wasn't aware that all this is going on. If she was, she probably would have stopped trying to be the life of the party and all that. But you could see how they were treating her, like she was kind of getting on their nerves, and and y'all already know the rest. I mean, so. But that's why they tried to throw that drinking too much in there, because at that point, that's the only really thing that they could put that on, because they wasn't aware of what happened. Like, they wasn't aware. They didn't know. They're not doctors, but they knew something was messed up. And I guess they just, came up with that story and prayed for the best for them. You know what I'm saying? But then when they found out, it's like, ooh, it was like y'all really messed up. But I don't know. I feel like definitely Khalil, because a lot of people are saying, like, he was the best. He had more of influence on Quayla. Like, she would more listen to him, and I'm just trying to figure out what was he on at that point when it was going on. But yeah, I'm not even gonna say, like, I just hope I miss out on some things, but I'm pretty sure some small things I missed out on. But for the most part, I think y'all understand it, and I'm gonna just keep my ears open. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait until we see some real justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just wait till we see some real justice. But they definitely need to talk to Khalil, and he's just gonna have to come clean. He's just gonna have to come clean. It's obvious that they wasn't trying to do that, but it happened, and that's sometimes that stuff happen when you're doing grown things and you're moving like a youngster. But I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, and I don't know if you don't, you can always comment and I can clear up some things. But this is what everybody out there allegedly is saying, and they reached out and showed me their credentials, showed me who they is. So that's just that's just what's going on right now, man. You know, and that's all I really gotta say. Is the real boss TVA 15. I'm out of here, man.